Welcome, friends, to Schnozzcast, another episode, the podcast that gives and gives and gives and gives, and then we give some more. Your host tonight, this is Bob, joined by Cory and Nick and Todd. We're going to give you a little bit of the same old tonight, but with a brand new twist. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to give you a little booze news. Little existential question of the week from Nick, and Todd's got some grievances to air, so don't go anywhere. Cory, how are you?
Swell, sir.
Nick, how are you?
Top of the afternoon to you.
I'm sorry, I believe you said Nick. Guten Abend.
Excellent. Todd, how are you?
I'm chill, brother.
You look at you guys stepping up to the plate,
I thought you went to Hawaii, Todd.
answering the
I
challenge.
did, brother.
And you come back Jamaican. That's crazy.
No, it's brah in Hawaii, brah.
No, it
That's
sounded
not
like
a
you had
thing.
a bit of a Jamaican accent there.
No.
Well, I guess I need to brush up on my
I did
accents.
not stay in the
You do.
affluent area.
You do. Brother.
Okay.
Shouldn't it be Mahalo?
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, congratulations. You got the title last week, buddy. Mahalo, bitches.
Yeah.
Mahalo. Nice.
All right, if you are new to the show, thank you for joining us. If you want to find us out here or go back and catch previous episodes, you can find us out every week. We release new episodes every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. If you happen to go out there and it's not there yet, just fucking
I said give and take.
hold on.
Give or take.
Yeah. Like sometimes you got.
I will tell you,
sometimes
if
work
you-
gets in the way.
Listen, everyone,
Hold
if you want to see the brand new episode at 10:30 on a Friday, go to YouTube.
Yeah, there you go.
It'll
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah, because Cory's never, except for twice in the last 6 weeks, never been late.
No, it hasn't been the last 6. That's to the show.
No,
That's almost 100%.
I have not been late posting.
You and I have swapped turns, being a bit late.
Not
for
on posting on you. No, sir.
I feel like there was a time
There was not.
where-
I messed up the title.
I have
on
a new
one.
grievance.
Swapping turns.
all right, so that's perfect. So you can find us out on social media. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, or anywhere else where you can get a podcast. You can also follow us out on the streaming services and on Facebook at Schnozzcast, Instagram at Schnozzcast, and YouTube at Schnozzcast.
And what I think we will say is we release Fridays. No time. We release Fridays.
Well,
no time.
I will say
Fridays.
if we had an audience that would hold us to that and tell us like, oh yeah, we give us a time because I can't wait for that new episode to drop.
We've been giving them times. It was 10:30.
Yeah. Then we just
Don't
go
poke
next
the bear. Names will not be said, but I did shoot
All
a
right.
text just curious.
So yeah, new
And
episodes out on Fridays. I
I'm
guess.
busy, okay? I'm like, okay. There's something I can do. I've had a long, hard day. I'm like, it's okay.
See, now I wish I'd put that on all caps to really convey the anger that I had.
I know that it was meant to
Fucking
be.
working, bruh.
It was meant to be. You were so busy. You were so busy you didn't have time for caps.
Oh, that is true. That's a level of busy that I was. You can also email us out at schnozzcast@gmail.com, or you can call or text us anytime, day or night, as long as Nick's hands are on the phone at 618-SHOCKER.
My hands are on the pulse of the podcast.
Of the what?
Podcast?
The podcast?
Well, I was trying to hear. I paused because what Todd was trying to say. So it came out podcast.
I don't know that I've ever heard you pause mid-sentence to hear what someone else has to say.
Well, I've been trying not to talk all over people. So
Personal
He's been
growth.
practicing.
That's what we're all about on the Schnozzcast. Personal growth.
baby.
So, Cory, are you 4 weeks? Are you 1 month now into marriage?
We're over a month, buddy.
Over a month?
It's old hat
So
now.
time is just dragging for
It's
you
like
now.
2 years.
Yeah.
The slow
it's-
march to the grave.
Jesus.
So one of the biggest, we've talked before about having you like, I'm sure it was our idea. I'm sure it was not something you were behind, but we wanted to have like the Selesky report in which you come back and report on marriage, down the line, fatherhood. You know,
Did we?
what's yes, we talked about.
Is this what we did?
We did.
I don't remember that.
No, I don't ever recall this.
Call that.
It was not on the show. It was off. It was off the air, but you know, it was still a
you
thing
drinking?
that we wanted to see.
Were you
Well,
drinking?
what's that, Todd?
I asked if Bob was drinking.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
At all times.
Maybe this was
There
like
you
a
go.
dream you
There
had.
you go.
No, it was not. It's in my notes.
Well, to the dismay of certain people in the room, I've been cooking a lot. Apparently, it's not up to some people's standards, but it's.
Hey, I forward patted it with a compliment.
Let's set the stage.
Yeah.
So Cory, I think self-professed amateur chef,
Oh yeah.
was at one point learning that there was a thing called an oven that would heat things using convection, and decided to use those only for fish sticks every single night of the week.
He doesn't have a convection oven.
Since then,
No, the air fryer was the
fryer
go-to.
was a game changer
Yeah.
for Cory. Right. So it's been stages of growth for Cory, and so recently he pulled the grill out, got the cast iron, got what might be considered to be good food when separated pre-cooking, and then during the stages of this cooking, he didn't say what he was making, but he sent it to all of his buddies, his co-hosts on the show, one of whom had been working as a sous chef. And I kind of think I was not surprised by Nick's response.
Did you notice my response?
Yeah, the lack of.
There you go. If you don't have anything nice to say.
Yeah.
It's damn fucking tasty. I'll tell you that much.
So let me.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah, let me just highlight the fact that, one, I feel no remorse for anything I were to say, because I have been his biggest fan that he should get into cooking if he likes that. It doesn't mean I have to like what he's making, but I like that he's trying. And he has told us self-proclaimingly that the only thing he used an oven for was fish sticks, and he was not using it before that, and he was blown away that he could use an oven to heat up fish sticks. Yeah. And so it was basically a fish stick maker. And so he told us like that I don't make anything else in the oven. We don't use our oven. And so that's how it started. Yeah. And about a week and a half ago, I watched him pull out a camp stove and take Kraft mac and cheese and mix in canned tuna with it when it was 90 degrees and sit and eat it by
Todd's face.
Sit and eat it by the river. And he told me it's delicious. And so
It was delicious.
So every compliment he's given me on anything I've ever cooked in the past has gone completely out the window after that moment. Yes. And this is also, might I tell you, the same person that if any one of us are eating anything that he's not, that he remotely wants, he tells us that he hopes we'll choke on it and die.
That is true.
So when I said, I'm so glad you're flexing your culinary muscle, but what in God's name is this hobo casserole that you're making?
That's why I didn't say anything. I'm like, I can't comment because I have no clue what the fuck it is.
It's cornbread casserole. It's actually very good.
Who stuck behind you, pal?
Thank you, buddy.
There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you that we were sent photos of a very nice new grill.
Yeah.
That was festooned with asparagus, a cast iron skillet that had seemingly ground beef. Ground beef in one.
No,
that was ground beef. I thought it was peppers. I couldn't.
No. And then separate.
And then a side burner. Yeah. He had going another skillet of yellow peppers and onions.
Yeah. Why did you not cook that with the meat?
And
because I did once I mixed them, I let it simmer a little bit more, but I sauteed the vegetables way longer than I had the meat on the grill.
And so then the next photo was it
watching Todd.
Was it pouring? The next photo looked like some sort of cake or pie of cornbread, and then he sliced into it, and beef and like asparagus and peppers were falling out of this cornbread
pie. The asparagus was on the side.
I was like,
and then you covered it with brown gravy, right?
Please tell me when you would ever fucking go. I don't care if you cooked it and you think you like it because you made it. When would you ever go to a restaurant and be like, I'll have the beef cornbread peppers with a side of asparagus, please? You would never order that.
If a restaurant sold it, I'd get it in a fucking second.
There's a reason they don't sell it.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. This is not just to be critical at all, because I do love that you're cooking, Cory, and I think it's awesome that people do it. I think the one thing is funny though is I think there are people who don't have, like Mary loves the way that I cook, but she's got a horrible. she's got a horrible palate as far as what she thinks goes together. Like literally the last time that she ever cooked a thing for me, she made this orange sweet potato chicken casserole, and I thought I was gonna die.
Oh my
yeah, I'm like, you can't put that many oranges together. You cannot do it. And I'm like, who puts orange and sweet potato together?
No,
she's like, it was a recipe I saw on a box, and I'm like, don't ever buy whatever it was you bought again. I'm like, and to her, it sounded good, and I'm like, just even seeing it, if I saw the two things together on a page, I would go, no, those two things should not be on the same page in a magazine. And so I think Cory suffers maybe from that. Because again, a cornbread casserole sounds spectacular. But to Nick's point, the asparagus seemed to clash with what you had going on. And even if you love it, it just is a clashy thing. And dude, if you love it, keep loving it. I think it's awesome. But it is for people who kind of like match things, it drives us insane.
Match.
And I'll tell you this.
I mean, asparagus can go good with anything.
And I'll tell you this, Cory.
Okay.
You're late to the game. And, Bob and I were trying to wrap our brains around this.
I'd say he's early to the game. I wasn't cooking at his age.
But so I'll say, I was cooking when I was younger. It was something I was interested in.
Sure.
And so I certainly made a lot of disgusting, foul things before I learned to make things that were actually good. So
I still make a bunch of things that are probably for me, for other people, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, every now and then I'm like,
thing.
this didn't work. I just wasted a bunch of time. This did not work. But you're like, I think it's fantastic. So
I love it. Danielle likes it. So
awesome.
I applauded the effort.
I will also say I have given my mom actually does like it, which obviously I know that you guys there's bias there, but either way, she says she likes it, and her parents love it. And
she likes the farts that you make too. Right, because she's got.
Thanks, Cory.
She hates that.
Loved it,
but her parents actually asked for me to make more. So
seconds, they want seconds.
I have no problem with it as long as when you offer it to them or they go, hey, what'd you bring over? Just tell them it's meat cake.
Oh
no, I can't do that.
Yeah, meat cake it must be.
It's not meat cake.
I will be referring to it from now on.
But is it like was it like Rachel with the English trifle that she put beef sauteed peas and onions in, where everyone's going, listen, if we tell her that she did the wrong thing, she's gonna have to do it all over again.
Right.
We want to leave. We want to get this done with. So let's all just say that we love it. So.
Yeah. I mean, when I look at the plate and I'm like, it could be meat, it could be cake. There you go, buddy.
I know what it was. I'm like, is that some sort of shepherd's pie with cornbread on top? And then I'm like, why isn't cornbread by itself? I couldn't figure. I was struggling with that a little bit. Hey, I have a quick question for you, Cory.
Yes, sir.
Do you like mac and cheese?
I do.
Do you like spicy things?
To a certain extent, yeah.
So you should make a jalapeno mac and cheese with a cornbread crust if you want to be blown out of this world.
Oh, you can give that a shot.
Will you send him a recipe?
I don't necessarily have a recipe. It's something.
Will you
I've
please
made
be on the phone with him when he assembles this like a trash?
Hey, but actually, the reason why I suggested it is because this. Here's the thing. I know I have a couple of different ways that I make mac and cheese, and I think I would compete. I think my mac and cheese is pretty solid, but everybody likes their own mac and cheese. There's people whose mac and cheese is probably 10 times better than mine, and I'm like, nah, mine's still better because it's mine. So my thing is with this, Cory, whatever your favorite mac and cheese go-to recipe is, zip it up a little bit with a little bit of jalapeno, and then put a sweet cornbread crust on top of that. Dude, you'll be loving life.
Give that a shot.
Oh, and maybe some bacon bits.
You've done
and a whole lot of tuna.
You've done jalapeno cornbread before, right?
Mm-hmm.
With like cheddar.
I have.
So.
If there's no tuna in your mac and cheese, Todd, I don't know when you want to talk to you.
Dude, I say you guys can thank my dad for that one. He was the one
I'm not thanking anyone for that.
That's what he ate in his office just about every day.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So I've not been able to eat canned tuna since this is no lie, since
you got married.
They pulled me out of that
1993. For the first time in 1993 was the first time that I ever had fresh ahi tuna, and that so changed my life. I've tried multiple times. I cannot eat tuna out of a can. Period.
February 3rd,
mixed in with anything.
1983 is a Tuesday.
And Todd, I'll answer your question. The recipe for his favorite mac and cheese is KRAFT.
It's not my
It'll
favorite,
still work,
but it works.
Yeah.
All right, Cory, let's do a little business.
And now it's time for booze news.
All right, we're going to do a little bit something different for Boozers today. It's going to be headlines for the Booze News this week. I'm going to run through these real quick, and you guys let me know if there's anything you want to drill into. So, first of all, in Connecticut, there was a wayward dolphin.
A wayward dolphin?
Dolphard?
A dolphin?
What's a dolphin?
I'm like, what's a dolphin?
Wayward dolphin is a tough word combination. Spotted swimming in the river in Connecticut, making its way upstream from Long Island Sound. At Boston's Logan Airport,
saltwater fishes.
That's why it's an odd news story, sir.
Oh, okay.
At Boston's Logan Airport, someone's pet cat had been dodging airport personnel for weeks, but they finally caught him. In Arizona, there's police in an old mining town that gets 1 million tourists annually are warning residents to stop yelling at visitors, or they face harassment charges.
Let's tell. Let's throw a little bit more to that, Bob. That's
a little bit more. Okay,
pretty interesting.
All right. Okay. So Jerome, Arizona, population about 450, was once home to one of Arizona's largest copper mines and is now a hub for artists. They get, as I said, 1 million tourists a year that take in scenic views, and they visit stores and bars. They prop up the economy of Jerome, Arizona.
Sounds
But
like a win-win.
People in Jerome, not at all complimentary or grateful for this for the solicitation of their businesses. The police on Facebook this week said it's come to our attention that some people visiting our town on short visits and using lawful short-term parking passes are being yelled at or having notes left in their car by local residents, which could constitute harassment under Arizona's revised statutes. We all know Arizona is a fucking hotbed of crazy laws, but this one seems to make a little bit of sense. And I'm just picturing people, screaming, "Go fuck yourself" to anyone who parks in a parking spot outside their business.
Yeah, because so they must be so that sounds like they're selling people. So if I'm a tourist to Jerome, Arizona, I go and buy a parking pass, which allows me to park in any spaces, even though I have my Georgia plate or whatever on there.
Yes,
so is that what you're thinking? Okay,
that is exactly
and
right.
So people are getting pissed because there's not enough parking. And so all these tourists who are propping up the town are fucking up their convenience.
But they're also keeping all of their Jerome, Arizona businesses afloat.
Afloat. That's what I'm saying. It's dumbassery.
It is.
Wait, did I miss the Dolphers?
The Wayward Dolphers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Damn it. Let's subdivide this boozer segment and do this shot before it gets any warmer than it is. It wasn't the coldest to start with. Todd, what are you drinking tonight?
My shot is going to be a Crown Peach, bitch. Mahalo.
Wow.
And my beer is Deschutes Fresh Days IPA, hazy IPA.
Gotcha. That's always a colorful description. We are doing fireball shots here, and we're just drinking the usual shit. So if you're joining us, tip your shot up and have them with us. Cheers.
Cheers.
Salute.
Oh,
It's getting there.
Sweet Machu Picchu.
Nick Bader,
That'd be
host of all
perfect
hosts,
over a scoop of vanilla ice cream.
Poured me more beer in my glass. Appreciate that, sir.
I mean, the actual host can't. We don't need you getting up and losing track of your story.
Yeah, when it's as scintillating as, hey, in
Dolphers.
Hollywood, Florida, a Florida woman surprised by uninvited iguana in her toilet.
I saw that.
Yeah, okay. They found a Van Gogh self-portrait hidden behind another painting in London. Ian, did you guys see the footage of the guy landing a plane in North Carolina on the highway?
Yeah.
Fucking crazy.
How he didn't clip a car, I don't know.
Let's get into that actually a little bit because I thought that video was pretty fucking.
Or how about
incredible.
all the cars seeing a plane trying to land and not pulling
even
over to the side of the road? Just, I guess I'll keep going and see if I can make it underneath.
Some kind of crazy video game we're
Exactly.
playing.
That's one of my grievances. Assholes don't care.
All right, I don't want to spoil.
I gotta get to work.
I don't want to spoil your grievances, Todd. Let me finish this up. So this was it was a Florida man who was aspiring to be a commercial pilot. It was his skills that showed up in an emergency when he had to land a single-engine aircraft on a 4-lane North Carolina road, missing cars and power lines as he touched down. His name is Vincent Frazier, and he was flying in on July 3rd when he started to lose engine power, and because he was checking out land that he had purchased that was near a lake. took his father-in-law on the plane, went aloft to check out the land. Nowhere to land, so he's like, I think I told him I loved him, that I was sorry for putting him in this situation, but he's like, we're going to crash. So he's like, I love you too. I love you too, son-in-law, and just do the best you can. And he's like, all right, from here on in, it's like game on. Let's just get it down alive. He was heading for a river when he saw Highway US 19 appear below. And the video we saw on YouTube was a GoPro video by the sheriff's office. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Unbelievable skills to put it down. I guess he's a former U.S. Marine. Said he began having second thoughts about his piloting goals afterward, but the successful landing, along with family and community support, bolstered his resolve.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You can go, Nick. I was going to make a comment.
No, I just said that the a lot of like actual really good pilots said that he did like the unthinkable and did an amazing job at doing it.
Todd, what were we going to say?
I haven't seen it, and I think it sounds awesome. But I'm like, I would have given a slightly different speech if I were like, "Hey, I'm sorry I put you in this position, but we're likely going to crash." My response to that would have been, "You better man up, motherfucker, and get this plane on the ground safely." I would have been like, "I love you too." I'd be like, "Fuck love, bitch. You better start piloting. You not fucking. Did you get your fucking license out of a fucking cereal box, you bitch? I'd have fucking been on that motherfucker." That would have been my response to, "I love you. I'm sorry I put you in a position where you crash."
You are putting yourself in the father-in-law's seat in this flight.
Who's the non-pilot?
They're both not. Okay, the guy who was flying the plane was his
son-in-law.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, and the son-in-law says to the father-in-law, "I'm sorry I put you in this position."
Yeah, I love you. I'm sorry.
If I was the father-in-law, I would have lit up son-in-law with those words. "Listen, motherfucker, you better man up, grab that yoke in your sack, and get this bitch on the ground safely." I didn't get this bitch to die today. Don't fucking be loving on me. Love me when we're on the ground, bitch. That would have been my
grab your yoke in your sack.
Exactly.
So this is what I want. So what you're saying is you feel like you would have gotten an equally strong, skilled response out of him with your tough love from the father-in-law.
I don't know that that's the case. I'm just telling you that based on the way that when you read the story and he's like,
yeah,
and they looked at each other like it was a love story, and they're like, "I love you. We're gonna crash." And then the father calmly went,
he literally took inspiration from his father-in-law's comments. He's like, "You know what? We're gonna. You love me too. I love you. You love me too. We're gonna make our way out of this."
No,
real shot in the arm.
I'm just telling you.
But you're like, "Fuck you! Get us down right now, you bitch." You think that's what would have spurred him to be like, "All right."
I don't know that it would have worked. I am not saying it
water.
would have worked. I'm just saying that
Yeah,
in the same
wouldn't.
situation, the dialogue would have been very different.
Ain't no bitch ass pilot in Nam would have told me that.
I feel like, I feel like your son-in-law in that plane with you would have probably just nosedived right inside of a mountain.
Exactly. But it would have been a hell of a movie scene.
Yes, that's true.
Dad, why can't you just tell me you love me?
I know, exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the story. I love everything about it. But I'm like, when you read the dialogue, "I love you, and I'm sorry that I put you in this position."
Yeah.
For the crash. And then he goes, "I love you too, son. Just do the best you can." Will not been a words. I'm like, that is not a thing I would have done.
Todd, you make it sound like Barry White was playing in the background.
So what's Todd's worst nightmare? Is it that the son-in-law then just goes, "I don't know if I can do it now. You've been yelling at me like, forget it. I can't make it there. Well, we're going right into this mountain."
Bob, you know exactly what I'd do at that point. When he melted down, even not having flown even a flight simulator on Microsoft 3.2, I'd have freaking grabbed that stick and
push him. Yeah, I see it right.
Right into the earth. I would have.
I have a feeling Todd would have thrown on the aviators that he had right next to him.
Yeah.
And Highway Through the Danger Zone would have started playing in the background. Get the fuck out of the way.
If we're gonna die,
open up that side hatch, lose the extra weight.
If we're gonna die because you're being a pussy, I'll freaking grab the stick and control our destiny.
Yeah, it was crazy. My son-in-law said, I put us in this situation, so I'll voluntarily jump out. It was crazy.
Out of it.
It's insane.
Well done. Cory, are you going to show the video here?
Yeah. Was able to find a little clip.
All right.
From AP Network News.
If I can bring it back
Yeah,
up.
I don't know. What
Fuck.
oh, my God.
Google it. You know, it's time to practice while I was monologuing.
Can't you just tap anywhere on the screen? It'll start playing.
That's what I just tried.
Oh, that didn't work. Oh, there you go. There's your
Play button?
tiny. There you go. Look at this guy. So you have to know, because it was a little confusing if you're watching right here, but the GoPro is on the left wing, looking off to the right.
Yeah.
So-
So the guy on the right, he'd be forgiven for not seeing him in his rear view, but these fucking people, like this guy in the left lane,
Going under his
not
wing.
even changing
under his
lanes.
Wing. Yeah, under the wing. Under the wing. There was a longer video, but you could.
Yeah.
All these people were just like, it was like the people that see a tornado and think they're gonna outrun it, and like these people just like look at him like coming down and they just hit the gas, and I'm like, what the fuck? I would get into the fucking grass. What these
Absolutely. Get your ass off the road.
These people are like, he's on the ground. The wings are only, 7 to 10 feet off the ground, and they're like, meow, meow, still going underneath them, like, no big deal. Like, he could fucking pop a wheel and fucking fly into them, and fucking now you got fuel and everything. I mean, get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Idiots.
I wonder if Vincent Fraser is now regretting relaying the conversation between him and his father-in-law
He should.
to the AP.
Well, once he hears the show, he will.
There was nowhere to land, so I think I told him I loved him, and
I love you. And I'm going to do the best that I
love
can.
you. I love you too, son-in-law.
Hey, son-in-law, remember
love
what you
you.
told me up in the air? Remember what you said?
Even though you're dicking my daughter.
It was a dying declaration, Dad. It was a dying declaration. You
But
know
think
that.
about the next Thanksgiving dinner that their family has, and his wife's like, "Dad, come on over for dinner," and they sit down and Vince goes like, "Dad, would you like to carve the turkey?" And as he hands him the knife, their sort of fingers kind of brush against each other, and they exchange this electric look.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the dad goes, "Here comes the mashed potatoes." Remember this, buddy? Remember?
I just thought of,
I'm your
I just
dad
thought of
now.
I just thought of a better dialogue. So I'm sorry. I put you in
Oh,
this
okay.
position. I feel
Fuck
like
you,
we're
Bob.
going
I
to
thought
cry.
it was
Yeah,
better dialogue.
both
That's
of us,
fine.
I guess.
I love you.
Right down
and
the
then
shitter.
and then father-in-law says, "I love you too. At least you won't be dicking my daughter anymore."
Why isn't he not taking? He's still alive. Oh,
He's gonna
because
be
they're going to
dead.
die. Oh, with the conversation up in the air. I thought you meant the
I see.
Thanksgiving dinner
Exactly.
conversation. I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Let's not confuse his actual father-in-law's caring, loving comments and supportive nature with yours.
I'm telling you,
Bitch slap him out of the plane.
I'm of the mindset of Todd. If you're gonna, okay, motherfucker, listen. You took some fucking mom and pop shop fucking pilots program, and you wanted to show me some motherfucking lake, and your ass couldn't even figure out because what the fuck to do. And now you got the engine shutting down. We saw no lake, and we're landing on a highway, and you have the audacity to tell me that you love me, and oh my god, all this. You shit. You're not even my real son. First of all.
Exactly.
Second of all,
Yep.
at that point, I don't care flying a plane or not. I've played Flight Simulator fucking on Microsoft. I have. And I know for a fact that I could kick that motherfucker at least out of the seat, maybe out of the plane, and I could land that shit. I'd
That's
be
what
able
I'm
to
talking
land
about.
it. I'd be like,
That's what
you're
I'm
done.
talking about.
You're done. You've
Preach.
had your chance to
a lot
play
of tough
pilot.
talk on the Schnozzcast tonight.
You must have had the upgraded version of the
Oh, I did.
Flight Simulator because
I did.
there was no
Preach.
kicking anyone out of the seat. And the version that I had.
Maybe you're
Wow.
confusing that with GoldenEye.
Well, they're not sitting on each other's laps, so
Where'd
there's
you-
obviously two seats.
Where'd you get that silenced pistol from?
Preach, Nick, preach.
I'm telling you.
All right, fuckers. Let's move on to let's give. I know Todd's already hogged a lot of spotlight tonight, but we're gonna let him hog a little bit more. Little airing of grievances. And now we come to the airing of grievances. And another thing. You guys feel free to record another one that's better than that. 'cause
I thought it was and another one. I thought it used to be and another one. Was it always another thing?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it.
Oh, okay.
Sure. Yeah. I haven't recorded a second version of that. Like one is bad enough.
I didn't know.
All right, Todd, what do you got for us?
And they're wieners.
So here's my here's my grievance, and this happened. This has happened to me before, and I got to freaking bitch about it because people need to change their ways. So while we were on our vacation in lovely Maui, one of the mornings, I don't know if there was someone playing a joke, pulled a fire alarm, or if there was a true malfunction in the system. But at about 6 a.m, we had a fire alarm go off, and the lights are flashing, the alarm, the buzz is going. It's like total, insanity. And so we get up and grab our stuff and we the phone and some shoes and leave the building. Meanwhile, half the residents of this motherfucker are asking us on our way out, do you think this is real? Do you think we really should leave? I'm like, the system is going off. They're telling people to evacuate. If it's a drill or whatever, we'll be served by everybody getting out because they're going to clear every room as long as there are people checked in. That's going to be the procedure. So, yes, you should leave. Dude, we sat outside for about 3 hours because half the dumbasses in the building never fucking left their rooms. And it was again, we never found out whether it was just a drill or a false alarm or even at one point they were like, oh, there's an electrical fire. And so a thing that could have been resolved in about an hour took about 2.5, 3 hours before we get back into our rooms because so many assholes either stayed in their room to begin with or once they left their rooms and people were doing the sweeps, they're like, oh, I think I'll be smarter than this. I'll sneak back into the stairwell and back into my room. Dude, stop. People stop feeling like you're above the rules. Obey the rules to make life easier for everyone. That is my grievance.
Now, hang on, Todd. What if...
Yeah, hold on. Leave him on camera. Leave him central on camera. Because I'm like, I almost interrupted his story, but I'm like, I shouldn't interrupt it. But I wanted to jump in and tell him, like, to give us those eyes in the camera while you're telling this story. That's straight on. Yeah, that's straight on gaze. Like you're talking to your. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. That's it.
Dead eyes.
Act right,
like a doll's eyes. Yes. If I could offer a suggestion for next grievances section, it is with that direct delivery.
I got to get my monologues into the. I'll work on that. I need to get my monologues.
Yes,
motherfuckers. Do the right fucking thing.
That's much better.
I find that highly entertaining. But you know what? We're gonna see it up on YouTube again on Friday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
So
on YouTube it'll be there. I promise you.
Yep, 100%.
Or 10:35 or 11. It'll be up there.
Nope.
Not YouTube.
No,
YouTube's it.
Yep. It's guaranteed.
10:30 on the dot every
it's a
time.
Lock.
All right. So Todd, though, hey, like, what if someone was just so dead asleep and they didn't get up? Are they still an asshole?
It's impossible. Here's impossible because impossible because here's why I'll tell you why.
Look at the camera.
Here's why I'll tell you why, Cory. You should have been in the room with us. They have these strobes they're positioned in the room all around the bed. And while I had my head because actually they let us back because they couldn't shut the alarm off. They did let us back in finally. I put my head under my pillow. And I could still see the light flashing in the room, and the buzz was so loud I could still hear it. So, nope, you couldn't. You could sleep like freaking death, and you'd wake up from this motherfucker. So,
Todd, I'm a pretty heavy.
No,
I'm a pretty heavy sleeper.
No.
I think I can make it through that alarm.
Bullshit.
So here's what we do, Todd.
Yeah.
You book us a flight to Hawaii.
Done.
I like where you're heading.
We'll go to that hotel.
Yep, and then we'll pull a fire alarm. You can sleep through it
easily.
Yeah.
And then we pack up and go home.
Let me remind you, fellas, that we ran through the Schnozzcast petty cash when we footed the bill for the original Maui vacation.
Well, exactly. Todd. I mean, Todd. He's
you got to pay for the talent.
He's so sure this will wake me. I feel like this one's on Todd.
Well, I mean that's fair.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
That's fair. You came pretty quick there, Bob. That seems fair.
Yeah.
Makes plenty of sense to me.
Kid silly attorneys.
I can't wait to get the gentleman's agreement then, motherfucker.
Oh. Me neither.
Well, we're already there. Why don't we just do it?
No, it's the MF and gentleman's agreement. Oh, done.
All right, we've got a few to get through tonight. This might be the last segment we do tonight, but let's see how quickly we
You sure?
buzz through this.
We're only 35 in.
Yeah. You don't think this could be a 25-minute segment? We've all watched our movies.
Yeah. No. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. And Nick might actually give a review.
Did he watch his?
What?
He's finally watched it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's only taken, 17 episodes?
It's been a while. But he was unavoidably detained. So,
Yes, he was.
Todd Dillon.
Yes, sir.
I'd love to start with you, sir. So I
Okay.
gave you F is for family.
Yes, you did. And I say, fuck you, Bob. You gave me the shittiest fucking gratuitous cursing cartoon in the history of cursing cartoons.
Wow.
Fucking horrible watch. Horrible. I was actually mad at you. I'm like, I thought you were supposed to sound. It's like, dude, it's not, the comedy was, there was a couple things you said were funny, but it was just more over the top, bad storyline, kind of wannabe, not what's Peter Griffin is Family Dad.
Family Guy.
Wannabe.
So close.
The King of the Hill, cross up. Ugh. I hated it.
Okay.
Solid F.
Wow. Solid F. Jesus Christ.
That's the first. That's the first time.
Wow.
He didn't even hesitate.
No, he did not.
He just gave.
I'm not even sure that was an actual review. I feel like it was a stage play. And he was trying out for Hamlet. He's like, well, I got this agreement review I have to give.
He was coming off the confidence of the previous monologue that you hyped him up on.
Yeah.
How to do the camera situation.
Yeah.
So he did that, but I don't know.
Leaned into it.
And
it hurt even more as a result. I really fucked myself.
I
I really made it much worse than it otherwise would have been.
Yeah, I feel like that was.
Think about
and the
Todd
cherry
like
on top-
staring off
the
because he would
cherry on
stare
top
off
that
into the
watched it
distance.
drunk.
Oh, you were drunk?
Yes.
Well, there you go. You got to rewatch it sober. Look forward to your brand new review next week of F is for Family.
Solid F.
Well, Cory, you might be right. This might be a very quick gentleman's agreement segment. You want to? Hold on. Let me hold on before we go. Who had to watch what? Dude, I can't follow that up with the origins of hip hop.
I can do mine.
Yeah, I can't do mine either. Yeah, go ahead.
I said I can do
Nick,
mine.
Nick.
So I had Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey from Mr. Todd Dillon. No.
It was from Cory, because I thought it was Eat, Pray, Love.
Oh, okay, from Cory. So I will send you, after this, remind me to send you a photo that I also like documentaries, but I'm more into crime documentaries. Cory's just like, if it says documentary, he's into it. But I specifically like crime and grit and murders and, the macabre, things like that, taboo things. And this was all about an offshoot from the Mormon church that kind of turned into a cult. And
Kind of.
yeah, it kind of turned into a cult.
It was definitely a cult.
And I don't think it originated, in the Mormon church. But basically, what happened was they outlawed polygamy. And this cult thought that or a version of the Mormon church thought that they were outside of the law. And they were like, nope, true people of the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints that are going to heaven have multiple wives. That's just the way it goes. Never multiple husbands, multiple wives. And so it deep dives into all that. But it's so much more. So remind me to send you this picture later on, because I literally took a photo of myself because I wasn't aware enough to see until I finally realized, like, the position I was sitting in, that I was physically on the edge of my seat watching this.
Oh, wow.
Like on the edge of my seat, like, what is going on next? And there's only 4 episodes, and I think they're only hour-long episodes. But it was super interesting. I get so much more interested in things that are real and true stories, and I really just wanted to know how this ended. I was supposed to watch 2. I watched 4. I did skip a week, so that only made sense. But yeah, it was super awesome. I do not want to give away anything else. I've since recommended it to at least 5 people outside of the show. But really well done. It's it has enough fucked up things in it that you almost feel disgusting for watching it. But it's kind of like picking at a scab that you just continue to pick at because you're like, this is so weird, but I need to see more of it. Like it's what is going to happen because I need to know what happens to these kids. What happens with these fucking kids. And, at one point it was the elder member of the church, and this will be the last thing I give away, but the elder member of the church had his 60 wives standing in line every night to go give him a kiss goodnight and or whatever he chose to embellish that kiss with. And this guy was like 86 years old.
Kiss on the wiener.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And the
That dude's a boss.
the youngest of his wives were 14. So,
He's a perverted boss.
yeah.
That sick boss.
And he talked them all into believing that he was basically the prophet on earth. So
That dude's a pimp.
he got away with whatever he did. They were thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands strong. So not only did they encourage most people in the town, but everyone in the town, including the police department, were parishioners and believed in all these things as well. So it is fucked up. You should absolutely go watch it. It is super crazy. Keep Sweet, Pray, and Obey about the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, the offshoot of it. I forget what the offshoot was called, but, the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints would be the first to say, like, whoa, this isn't a part of us. This isn't us.
I mean, yeah, they're already fucked up on their own. But this was a complete different, like you said, subsect of that church. And
Yeah.
so with that already being as messed up as it is, an offshoot of it, yes, it was 1,000 times worse.
It's almost as if you don't understand how the things they got away with happened in modern times. Like they were so separated from normal society. Like it was a vicious hybrid of like being Amish and polygamy and Mormon. Yeah, it was.
That's about it.
It was like no law enforcement or any kind of politics or politicians or anyone wanted to even look into them because they were like, "No, we don't. They do their own thing. We don't want to mess around with them." And little did they know all this crap was going on. So definitely look into it.
I'm glad you liked it, man.
Loved it.
Awesome.
Nice.
I got to save it for the end, Cory.
Save me for the end?
Yeah,
All
got to, because I'm really kind of dying to hear about what you had to watch.
All right.
So I had to watch. So Cory gave me Web of Make Believe: Death Lies in the Internet on Netflix. So obviously it's a documentary. I mean, I don't think I need to really spell that out. I watched the first 2 hour-long episodes. And really, those were the only ones that I had time to watch. Otherwise, I would like to watch more because these first 2, I kind of was aware of the story already. The first episode is
Death by SWAT.
Yeah. A gaming something in the gaming world where one gamer pisses off another one, and then they figure out how to call the SWAT team in. And this was a episode gone wrong, and I had read about this. And so a lot of the background I already knew, but there were some, new piece of information I didn't have. Overall, I liked the way that they set it up. They had interviews with a lot of the major players and investigators that were involved.
The major players.
Well, whether they were,
video game players,
the victim's family, or what the fuck, man,
Jesus,
people who actually whose lives were impacted by
whose loved ones were killed.
Yeah. And the second episode was about Seth Rich, the DNC staffer who was murdered. So that one actually I learned a lot more than I knew before. But my main complaint with it is very specifically with that one is that once they got to once they sort of present the background and they give you context for like, here's what happened, then everything else just devolves into like conspiracy theories. And I feel like those two episodes were very similar in that, you know, they probably could have ended at the 25-minute mark and everything would have been fine, because everything after that was just speculation over what they think happened, or people trying to make it worse, or people, you know, taking the event and trying to spin it for their own gain, or twist it to have the consequences fall on a particular group of people.
Yeah, and I think you're right about that. And I think what they were kind of going for was, well, here are the facts that we know, but then also kind of think about this. And I think they just wanted to give a little extra information to not necessarily make it a conspiracy theory, you know, show or episodes, but to just kind of give like a deeper insight on, like, or to kind of make you think, like, oh, you know, would you go along with this, or would you, you know, think this as well? So I get what you're saying with that. It's they were a little long, and I wouldn't say for me not drawn out, but it made me think a little bit like, oh wow, that is kind of an interesting point. Not that I believed it or didn't believe it, but that it kind of made you think a little bit.
I not being a big if I was a big documentary guy, I probably would have been riveted the entire time. But I especially in the world that we live in today, I'm like, I just want to show me the facts. And so that, like, the last 35 minutes of each of those episodes were, they were trying to, like, think about this. Like, what about this? Have you thought about this? But there'd be no evidence to support what they were saying. So in my head, I'm just putting it into the conspiracy bucket. And every single other person after that would just do the same thing. You know, they would present some point of view and raise a question, but they back it up with no evidence.
Right.
And so it just became more like, I've seen JFK, you know, the movie. I've read all the news stories about it, know all the background about it, and a lot of that is the same thing. It's, you know, well, what about this? Well, have you thought about this? I'm not going to show you evidence for it, but you should think about that. And I'm like, I'm not interested in. Just show me if you have evidence for it. That's great. If it furthers the narrative and one or the other based on facts, that's great. So not that it wasn't that it was long. It was just that, you know, let's not. You lost me when you stopped talking about facts.
Fair enough.
So, but if I get some more time, there was either episode 3 or 4 looked really interesting to me. It was something I didn't know about. So I may continue to check it out.
It's all just conjecture.
Exactly. All right. So Cory.
Yes.
Yeah, bring us home, buddy.
So I had hip hop.
The origins of hip hop.
The origins of hip hop. Todd,
yes, sir.
I got to start this out by asking you a huge question, because you said you were most interested in me watching the Fat Joe episode, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, which was episode number 1. So I watched that. I will say I watched every episode except for Grandmaster Flash, the very last one they have available.
Okay.
You hate Grandmaster Flash, or you ran out of time?
I ran out of time
already.
Because that's the 7th episode, and they're each an hour long. So.
Oh wow! So that tells me that you liked it.
Does it though? We'll get into that.
If I had $1 for every time he said he did not like Grandmaster Flash, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to figure out why you'd watch 6 hours of thing you hated.
Because Todd, if there's one thing you haven't learned from this podcast, I will watch something out of spite.
How many episodes of Lost did he watch? How many seasons did he watch, despite hating every minute of it?
So my first question to you: why the Fat Joe episode?
I just thought it was a really good testimony to a person who persevered and who came from a really dark and bad thing and turned it into something positive.
Okay, I
thought it was inspirational in that way.
I can see where you're going with that. I will say though, out of all the episodes, excluding Little John, Fat Joe was the biggest bitch out of them all. Dude, Busta Rhymes, fucking Ice-T. Dude, their stories were way deeper than Fat Joe's.
And here's the thing, though. If I'd assigned you this, it would have for sure been seen as a spite thing if I'd started with those two.
Oh, well, hold on. Do you think that none of us have assigned something out of spite?
Because you're supposed to like it.
No, that's
no.
You could like it and have it also be for spite.
So
I typically don't do that. I thought it was a stretch, and I thought that was a nice ease in. I always try and stretch. I don't go for home runs. All that I figure that you guys are going to be into. So I actually try and do stretch ones, and this one was a stretch for me. And I thought, and I didn't realize it was the first episode because I watched out of order.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, but Fat Joe was just a bitch that caught a break. And I don't think he's that talented. I know he has some huge hits out there, but he didn't put the work into the actual game like guys like Busta Rhymes and Ice-T. Dude, even Lil Jon. Or Eve was in there. Eve put way more work into where she got to rather than Fat Joe. Fat Joe literally.
Go ahead.
He was just discovered as being a kid from the streets that could kind of rap, and people were like, "Oh, you're a fat Puerto Rican kid. That's awesome. So you're gonna be a star." And I'm sorry, Big Pun sucks dick too. I swear, dude, he's the fattest, sloppiest, goofiest looking rapper I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm glad he's dead.
Oh my! Wow,
Nick Bader.
Wow,
your thoughts?
Dude, wow. Busta Rhymes to Ice-T. Their stories are insane. They're so much more in depth and a worse background than what Fat Joe came from. And I'm sorry, I know you weren't saying like, oh, he was the best story out of all of it, but that's why I asked why you wanted the Fat Joe one specifically because, dude, Busta's story
I didn't know that you'd be compelled as much as I was by the others. That's awesome.
Oh, dude, hearing that, and like I said, even Eve in there, Eve, you know, her story was absolutely crazy too. And when they talked about her, you know, and how she got into stripping, you know, and I remember that back in the 90s, and people gave her a lot of shit for that.
Weren't you born in the 90s?
I was born in 87
already.
But yeah, there was a lot of talk that her career was basically BS because, okay, well, she was a stripper at some point. But I can't remember who in the interview process, you know, basically stated like, well, let's think about this. It's cool for male rappers to say, well, I dealt drugs or, you know, I was pimping girls out and that was my come up. And then I finally became a famous rapper. People applaud that. But then all of a sudden Eve has to do what she has to do and she starts stripping just to make a couple extra dollars to get herself by. And people turn around and say, well, that's not right. That's kind of disgusting that you were a stripper before you were a famous rapper. Isn't
that a
huge double standard.
Isn't that the way to go now, though? I feel like there are many more women in hip hop and rap that now started that way.
But that's not the ceiling was broken. That's why the series though, Bob. The ceiling, she broke the ceiling. Eve isn't thought of as the premier rapper in the rap group. Her story is so compelling that it makes it she broke ceilings and made Cardi B possible.
Yeah,
true, very true.
Nicki Minaj.
And I was very, very interested to find out that she now lives in London and she married the guy that the CEO and founder of the Gumball 3000.
Gumball 3000.
The car race
that every day. Come on.
Yeah, the race. Yeah.
The car race. These guys race all across the country and hit all these different stops.
You're talking about the Cannonball Run?
It's like that, but it's the real thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the Cannonball Run was a real thing.
They're not evading the police, though.
Oh, yeah. The Gumball 3000 is a very illegal.
Legit.
Anyway,
thing.
That's fine.
But yeah, so yeah, I said all their stories. Like I said, Lil Jon, I think he was the only one that was like, oh yeah, I started with a great life and then I just made my life even better.
Exactly, made better. Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, but dude, the stories were absolutely riveting, and there was just so much insight that I was not aware of for people that I listen to, and I loved their music when I was younger. And I'm not going to lie, I did like Fat Joe at one point, and I liked Big Pun at one point, but this changed all that. So, and I also will say, Eve is one hairy lady.
Yeah.
There were some shots in there that I was like, Jesus Christ.
So here's actually, I have one question for you, Cory.
Yes.
If I hadn't assigned it, was it something that you would have eventually gotten to?
Oh, most definitely.
Cool.
It gives enough insight and background to these stories of people's lives that I would have definitely been interested in. Not that I would have ever came across it myself because it is on A&E, and I actually had to download the app and log into our cable provider to get. So I don't necessarily know if I ever would have actually stumbled across it because it doesn't stream on anything else except for A&E.
Yeah.
Yep. So I appreciate you you assigning it.
Big in the hip hop world, I'll bet.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cory Selesky come to life at the end of this episode with his powerful and lengthy review of the Oranges of Hip Hop.
Sorry.
Not at all.
Oranges of hip hop.
Did I say oranges? I hope I said oranges.
I thought you were going to say the orange is the new potato.
All right. New assignments for next week. I got Cory. Cory has me. Todd and Nick have each other.
As usual.
As you would
Just
expect.
the two of us.
All right. Cory. Based on the episode that you guys had when I was not in attendance with Dr. Phil Anton dialing in, I got to ask, have you seen The Fisher King?
No.
There you go.
God damn it.
I can't I can't think
You get
of
to look forward to naked dudes running around for no good reason.
That's exactly right.
Fisher King.
Hey, hold on. I'll put it in one note.
Oh, sorry.
Todd, have you seen Girl in the Picture?
Nope.
All right, Girl in the Picture on Netflix.
Perfect.
Have
you
dude.
seen Nightmare Alley?
That's right.
Hold on. You know what? No,
You can't just go without me telling you to go.
Yeah, you're gonna give a review. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Sorry, Todd. Continue. Todd, you still there?
Todd, I'm sick of us being oppressed by Bob Rankin on this show.
I know.
Honestly,
I'm being repressed.
I was going to ask a question of Nick about his assignment.
No.
But then I realized he'd say, I'm not going to answer that, and I decided to move on.
Mm-hmm. You know how you can tell Bob's the king? He hasn't got any shit on him.
Well played, sir.
Have you seen Nightmare Alley, Nick?
Nightmare Alley, no.
There you go. This is my stretch for you.
Oh, I love stretches.
Who did I? Oh,
I'm taking a chance because this is not a real life thing.
I assigned that to Greg once upon a time. I knew it sounded familiar. All right, Cory, what do you got for me?
You have How to Rob a Bank on Tubi.
Knew it. Got it. All right, which leaves us then with... That's it. We're done. All right.
What?
How about that?
I thought it would take a lot longer than that.
Hey, we're at the hour mark right now, so.
No, just to assign. It always, especially when it comes to assigning shit to you or me, it's always...
Well, Nick had something ready to go that is brand new.
Yeah, that I can't believe he watched.
Cory's like...
I've already seen it. Danielle was very upset because I came home and there was
I got told by so many people to watch it, so I'm like, I had to watch this.
There was one scene playing on the TV.
Yeah.
And I just said, "Oh, you're watching the girl in the picture?" And she's like, "Yeah, how'd you know?" I'm like, I don't know. I saw it, the cover on Netflix.
We're supposed to watch it together.
She was like 45 minutes in. And I was like, "Oh, well, I kind of wanted to watch that."
You made her stop?
And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I figured you watched it already." So she stopped. And then 2 days later, she's like, "Oh, do you want to watch the girl in the picture?" And I just started laughing. She's like, "You already watched it, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I did."
Son of a bitch.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Schnozzcast saying we'll see you next week on behalf of Todd and Nick and Cory and Bob. Be good to yourselves. Cory.